If you like to talk about combat sports and you want to join the discussion, click the subscribe button below and the bell notification icon next to it and join Knucklehead Nation. Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, we apologize for any technical difficulties. Welcome to another episode of the FightersRep podcast. Today we've got ABEL LARA, a young talented fighter coming up here in Southern California. ABEL, I really appreciate you being on the show, brother. You were explaining to us briefly, how you kind of got in to the whole combat sports thing. If you don't mind letting us know one more time, what kind of got you into this whole sport?
Yes, of course, George. Thank you so much again for having me. So what brought me to the fight game, or what introduced me to the fight game, was in around 2007 when I was going to college. A buddy of mine, a classmate of mine, invited me for a Saturday barbecue. He said, "Hey, we're gonna watch a UFC fight."
Yeah.
He said, "We're gonna watch a UFC fight," and then I said, "What's that?" And then he told me like, "Oh, it's two guys that they fight in a cage." And then I said, "Who's fighting?" And then he told me it was Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. And I asked him, "Is Ortiz the Hispanic one?" And he said, "Yes." And I told him, "All right, I'm rooting for him." And then so I had no idea what it was. And then I showed up to his house, and he ordered the fight. And they went at it, and of course, sooner than later, Chuck Liddell dawned on me and became, what introduced me to the fight game. And I loved his style, his technique, and just the way he carried himself as a champion. But I didn't know what UFC was until the Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz era, when they were going back at it, fighting back and forth. So Chuck Liddell is one of my all-time favorite fighters, and he's the one that pretty much introduced me to the game, because I kept watching and I was like, oh man, I want to try this out, because I've been in sports all my life, and I figured this one would be a good challenge, and I can see myself progressing in it. So that's what happened. That's what brought me to the fight game, Chuck Liddell.
You mentioned ABEL, that you had a soccer background. You played soccer growing up?
Yeah, I played a lot of soccer growing up, like around probably like 8 or 9 years, maybe even more, from a toddler all the way to like my early 20s.
Well, ABEL, soccer is nowhere near as gruesome as the combat sports can be. Did you kind of have to convince your family and the people around you, hey, I'm going to do this, or were they totally on board from when you jumped on?
Well, I think at that time when I was really trying to get into it, I was living with my mom, and I had told my mom, I was like, "Hey, Mom, I found an interest in a new sport," and she saw me watching it, and she was your typical loving Hispanic mom with with a lot of she doesn't want you to get hurt, she doesn't want me to hurt anybody. So right away she's like, "No, I don't want you doing that." She's like, "If you're gonna do it, then you're gonna pay your own gym membership and blah." And at that time I was going to college, and I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, I can't afford that right now. I need gym membership, let alone gear to start up new. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on school, and I'm just gonna keep that on the side for now, on the back burner, but a really, really hot, back burner, because I knew I was gonna get into it as soon as I had the time and the money and time to invest in myself. But no, my mom, my friends at the time, I think maybe some of my friends at the time, they're like, "No way!" They thought I was joking, because most of them were my drinking buddies at the time, and I was, we'd be sitting in the front yard, and like late at night, and I'm like, I'm just telling them my thoughts. I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this MMA stuff and give it a try. I'm gonna be good at it." And they're like, "Bullshit." They're like, "No, you're not." So they were my number one haters, but then again, they were like the first two people that bought tickets off my first fight. But no, so it was all negative stuff around me. It was all mental, like, it's stuff I want to do. I think I have the passion for it at the time. So, but yeah, no support or nothing.
Well, how old were you when you started doing this?
Well, when I got into it, I was in college, so I was like 22, 21 at the time.
Oh, okay. So you got into combat sports pretty late then, ABEL.
I got into combat sports pretty late. Yeah, right now I just turned 33 in February.
Wow. Okay.
But I did do some boxing. I had some boxing background and over at La Habra Boxing Gym when I used to live in La Habra. It wasn't too far from me, and it's still a known gym. They have a lot of good people come out of that gym. But I was in and out of that gym as only strictly boxing for like a year and a half, and then I didn't pick up this whole mixed martial arts 5 days a week, going to class every day till like 2016, 2017.
Got you. You actually, it looks like you've got a fan in here, and Sergio Rodriguez Jr. in the chat. He says, "What's up, Abel? Shout out, or shout me out." He says, "Shout me out, compa."
Coño, Sergio. Shout out, Sergio, man. One of my buddies helps me cut weight all the time. Shout out.
Nice. So, Abel, I mean, did you do MMA, or are you just strictly, the striking arts?
You know what? I had my I just had my MMA debut in October of 2019. It was my first time stepping in, with MMA gloves and stuff, and it didn't go my way. We went all 3 rounds, and every time I tried to light him up with my punches, he would just take me down. Didn't hurt me, just laid on top of me all 3 rounds, and his wrestling won the game. So, but it was a good learning experience. I wanted to get that, off my back, because when I first started mixed martial arts, believe it or not, I wanted to be a cage fighter, an MMA fighter. But at the gym that I joined at the time, they had MMA fighters, and then they had a Muay Thai team. And long story short, shout out to Coach Pot, Chan Pot. He's the one that took me under his wing as a Muay Thai student, and you know what? I started training with him, and then he got me my first fight in Muay Thai, and just been winning ever since. I finally made a name for myself, the freight train, and I always wanted to try the MMA scene, but I was like, man, I'm winning. I keep winning fights, and I got 2 belts. I'm like, I don't want to lose my whatever talent I have going on with Muay Thai, and then go to MMA because that's wrestling, jiu-jitsu. But like I said, I did my debut in November, so so it was good. It was good to get my feet wet in the MMA scene. But I think Muay Thai called my name. It's the passion that I have, and I like the whole background and the culture that it falls behind it. So I'm just remain in Muay Thai, but we'll see. I mean, you never know. I'm always up for a challenge, but for right now, I want to focus on, like you said, kickboxing, Muay Thai.
I love it, man. That's music to my ears, brother. So I was actually going to ask you, where's the love at for you? Is it more with the Muay Thai or the kickboxing, or is it more with the MMA, since that's what kind of got you into the sport?
It'll always be MMA in general. When I'm saying MMA, I'm combining all of them: kickboxing, cage fighting, Muay Thai. But where the love is right now, where it's been for since I started, has Muay Thai. I just love the game, and I love the technique. I love how it's not really that fast paced, and I don't like wrestling either. I don't like jiu-jitsu that much. I like to learn it, but I'd rather stand with you across from me and strike, and then see who gets the better leg kicks and clinching and stuff.
So, we've got another fan before we go to the next question in the chat. His name is Krista Kim. He says, who is this guy?
Oh, Krista Kim. Hey, that's my coach right there. Shout out to Coach Chris and Team NHC, Muay Thai team. Yeah, that's my coach right there in Los Alamitos. You met him several times, George.
Yes.
Some of my teammates fought for you, and they did pretty well, so we love your promotion. We love the way that it's in our backyard in Seal Beach from Los Alamitos, and we just love the whole, especially my coach, because he's interacted with you many more times than I have, and he just loves your vibe.
I appreciate it. He's a great guy, and your team is great. I do remember Joshua Fochman. I believe he's your teammate that you're telling me about. Fantastic fighter. I've been trying to get him back in, man, since FightersRep 5 back in 2019, over a year ago, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point. We'll have you on as well. So what I wanted to say was, you did kind of seemingly get into the fight game a little bit later than typical,
Right.
but it doesn't seem that that harmed you at all with that boxing and soccer and sporting background. You mentioned you picked up a couple belts. Tell me, you know, I did see an IKF belt in the background, which is kind of the best thing you can have as an amateur fighter. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right, George. Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, you called it right there, IKF, International Kickboxing Federation.
Beautiful,
The white.
beautiful.
This one was in 2019 in September, out in Riverside.
Very nice, very nice. And for the people watching that don't know, I mean, the IKF is the International Kickboxing Federation. That's the only amateur sanctioning body allowed to sanction and regulate kickboxing and Muay Thai in the state of California. So if you win a title, for the IKF, like Abel has, that he's showing right there, that beautiful white belt, then that means you're probably one of the best fighters in your division in this state. Am I right, Abel?
That is correct. Yeah, they do hold a high standard to the belt. It is the top of the top. I think after this one, because they have a bunch of IKF belts. I mean, not many, but they have like other states, obviously. But in general, there's after this belt, you get to fight for like another important belt, but then you get to fight for the world title IKF belt, and that's like the top of the IKF. But I mean, you nailed the nail on the button. Yeah, it's as far as amateur kickboxing, Muay Thai. Yeah, that's the only best belts that you can get. So everybody wants that belt.
For sure. What division did you win that in, Abel?
That was in welterweight, so 145 pounds.
Very cool, my man. Very cool. And is that like a Southern Regional title, or what kind of title is that?
That's the SoCal California state title.
Wow, man. That's big time. So, you know, Abel, definitely one of the best, if not the best, welterweight down here in Southern California. And tell me what you think about this, Abel. I tell people all the time, this is the mecca of combat sports, brother. Southern California is where it's at. So if you're one of the best here, you're probably one of the best in the country and in the world. How do you feel about that?
Oh man, those are big words right there. That if I carry those words on my back, you best believe I'm gonna climb the hill with that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Southern California in general generates a lot of publicity, a lot of good publicity, a lot of good media. A lot of organizations, big promotions fight in Southern California. So, if you're one of a big timer here, then, the sky's the limit from there. You want the North Cal one, you want the world title. You just want to travel the world is what I, eventually want to do, is just travel and compete, and maybe, who knows, in the near future, represent USA and Muay Thai and travel the world and just, try to be a good role model and, be a good student to my coaches and my teams.
For sure, brother. Sergio Rodriguez says Coach Krish is the GOAT. And then Justin Espinosa says, what's up, champ? Fresh ass belt. So, you got some fans in here for sure. Abel, besides trying to convince the family that you want to compete in this very difficult sport, it's a very difficult sport on the body, and it can be a very difficult sport financially unless you make it big time. Tell me a little bit about ABEL Lara's grind so far in this sport.
For starters, it wasn't easy. I had I was at that age. I'm already, I'm not that old, but, I believe I'm still in my prime. I believe I can be in my prime as long as I want to say I'm in my prime. I'm mentally in my prime. But I knew when I started this combat sport, I was like, I talked to myself. I said, man, you're getting kind of old for this. So if you're going to do it, Abel, then you better hit the pedal to the metal and go on full force and be committed and win, and then win and learn. So that's what I did. I signed up to All In MMA Gym in Buena Park, and I was there 5-6 days a week, twice, three times, twice. And I was really fortunate. I was lucky to live like down the street from there, so I would just run there. Rain or thunder, I would just run there, and I would do all three classes, like the sparring, the Muay Thai classes, and then the MMA classes. So And then it paid off after like a year and a half or so. And then my coach saw that I was doing well, and he asked me, "Hey, do you want to fight?" And I said, "Hell yeah! Why do you think I signed up here?" You know, so so he took me under his wing. The whole team did, but and then I was working as a nurse at the time, and that was difficult. But just like you said, the grind never stopped. The passion never died. The passion kept me lit. I mean, after winning and then after suffering my first loss, I just knew what it takes, and I just told myself that I can be a champion if I really want it, and that's where I'm at. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy. It's all about commitment,
Who was the coach that pushed you to take that fight, or that asked you if you wanted that fight?
Which fight? The first fight?
Yeah.
Oh, Coach Chan Pot.
Got you. Okay.
Coach Chan Pot, and then also Coach Johnson.
Gotcha.
Matt Johnson.
And man, you were working as a nurse. I mean, that is a hell of a grind too. How were you able to manage? For those out there coming up with excuses as to why they can't do this or why they can't do that, you were working a full-time job, it sounds like, and training to fight. Is that what it is?
That's what it was. I have 9 fights on my record.
Wow.
I have 9 fights, and then the first 5 fights back to back, I was still working full time as a nurse. Sometimes I would work 12-hour shifts. I had a private patient that I would take care of who had a tracheostomy, and he was a quadriplegic. So I don't know how I did it. Sometimes, I mean, I know the answer was that I was committed and I wasn't going to let anyone stop me or not let a schedule stop me or anything. So, but I do ask myself sometimes, like, damn, I don't know how I did it working as a nurse and competing, and then not only competing, but learning along the way and winning. Because all those, I think my first 3 fights I won 3 in a row, and then I suffered my first loss to decision, and then I went on winning like 2 or 3 more fights, and then I had my second loss. But yeah, but with outstanding winning record while I was an amateur. I mean, and working as a nurse. But I don't know how I did it, but I think it's just I have my mom's heart, my mom's endurance. She always pushes me. She's a good role model.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, where'd you get this work ethic from, Abel? Where's this coming from, bro?
I think it's just my mom. My mom, she's a Hispanic mom that had a rough uprising, from her past, from marriage and stuff. But she was just a soldier. She always made sure me and my brother, my younger brother, she always made sure that we had a good roof over our heads, and she would work double shifts and then just come home and feed us and then go back to work. But just seeing her grind and not giving up and not borrowing money or not asking for help, she did it all herself. And I think it's just her work ethic especially that I brought into the nursing field, but also the fight game. In the beginning, my mom was like, hell no, like I don't want to see you get beat up. But now when I come home and I show her some gold and I put it around her waist, she smiles and she wants to go on Facebook.
Nice. Big shout out to Abel's mom. He's bringing home the gold to mom. Hopefully, we can at some point help you bring home more than just gold. For everybody watching, we're here live with ABEL LARA, a fighter, right now in the transition, I believe, between the amateur and the pro game. So we're going to ask you a little bit about that soon. But if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday at 7 p.m. and some days in between, especially during this crazy quarantine. And give ABEL LARA a follow at Instagram, right there on the bottom of your screen, at LaidBackAbel, just under his baby face. I can't believe he's 33 years old, and believe in zero excuses, as he's showing you right there, because he didn't make any when he was working a full-time job and training to fight. Abel, you mentioned, your mom giving you a roof over your head, making sure you guys were fed. What is it that ABEL LARA eats to stay in shape? What are your eating habits like? What are your workouts like?
In general, or like during when I have a fight coming up?
Give me everything, brother.
In general, generally speaking, I'm not gonna say I don't eat bad. I don't eat, you know, in and out here and there. But to sum it up, long story short, you know, me being involved in such a combat sport, whether in Muay Thai, and having fight after fight, having training camps after training camps, having that mentality of a fighter, you know, of an athlete, of a winner, and then your mind starts to change automatically, and you know, instead of me craving like a burger or a steak or something, like I'll go ahead and like toss up a salad real quick and I'll make one. Or generally speaking, as far as being a fighter, has changed my eating habits to eat better. So
Yeah.
I eat really good during fight camp. When I'm not, like right now, I'm not in fight camp or anything. I'm still trying to eat. I'm still eating on the healthy side. You know, I don't binge too much on stuff. I'm a sucker for donuts though, so I eat donuts. I think I eat donuts like every other night. I don't know why. I just love donuts.
God.
Yeah, even during fight camp, like I'll eat like it'll be like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just like hungry, and I'll tell my girlfriend, hey, babe, I'm going to Ralph's, and then she's like, why? And I'm like, I'm gonna go get donuts.
Oh
And
shit, Abel, have you had those donuts with the burger in the middle? Have you been that adventurous yet or not yet, bro?
So I've seen it. I think I saw it at the fair right in front of me, and it just didn't draw my attention too much. I think I just love donuts so much that I don't want to mix it.
Well, you did break my heart a little bit. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you eat donuts. You deserve them with all the work you've put in. But you broke my heart when you made me feel like In-N-Out is In-N-Out not healthy, Abel? Should I stop eating In-N-Out, brother?
In-N-Out is not healthy, but it's good.
It sure is. By the way, Sergio Rodriguez says 33 in Cuban years. So you know, I don't know what you're eating. Are you getting some plátano in there? What are you eating to make you look so young there, Abel?
Oh, I think what he was. I think what he was referring to was that because he's Cuban, and then he said that when Cuban people get their papers, they lie about their age so they can retire early.
Is that why you said coño? Is that why you said coño, Sergio?
Yeah.
Got you, brother. Got you. Valerie's in here. She says Classic Fight Team, 100%. So showing some love to Classic Fight Team. You've got an affiliation with them?
That's right. Yeah. So I have I co-team with Classic Fight Team in the middle of 2019. My home team is NHC, and then my co-team is with Coach Tyler Wombles at Classic Fight Team in Fountain Valley. And man, that's a fucking awesome team. I've only improved my level of technique thanks to Tyler's coaching and all the students, all the pro fighters there. It's a good family there, just like NHC, man. I love both teams. I'll rep them, you know, throughout my whole fight career. So shout out to both teams and my teammates that are watching.
I love it. You know, I just had somebody who I've met in the fight game, Chris Cully. I hear he's over there now too. That's a ton of experience to have.
Yeah, he's really technical. He's really up there in the Muay Thai MMA background. Yeah, he just transferred to Classic Fight Team not too long ago. So I'm in there sparring with him, and I like sparring with him because we always go really slow and nothing hard. We'll throw like a spinning elbow, but we don't even like completely land it. We just let it like graze our forehead, and just really slow technique. So. Yeah, he's good, man.
Got you. Sergio Rodriguez says, Coño, tostones. He's making me hungry for tostones, bro. And Alec Cabrera says, I'm your #1 fan. Believe in zero excuses. Love you, brother.
All right, Alec. Yeah, that's his clothing line.
Oh, nice. Nice.
The Guild of Athletes, yeah.
Shout out Alec Cabrera, man. You know, if you guys want to come sell at the show, definitely let me know, and I wish the best for you and your brand. Abel, I wanted to ask you, man, you've had 9 amateur fights, you said?
Yes.
When is ABEL LARA headed to the pro game, brother?
Man, if everything goes well according to plan, I've been talking to Jesse, the matchmaker from
Who's that
FightersRep.
guy? Who's that guy?
Jesse. He's some guy from New York, man. He's a new guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But yeah, I mean, he told me I'm on the list, though. You know, Like I told you, I've already been to your promotion. I love the atmosphere. I love the whole setting. I love the noise, the type of people you guys bring in. I've been there several times watching my teammates win at your event, and I just love that family orientation. I love the way me and you communicate, and Jesse. But man, if all goes well, yep, you know, fingers are crossed and stuff. So I'd love to make my pro debut in August for FightersRep out in Seal Beach, and I'm ready to bring my A game.
Man, that would be absolutely sick. You know, you and the people at NHC and the people at Classic Fight Team, welcome all day in the promotion, man. Me and Jesse have had, you know, nothing but positive experiences with your camps. So, and we've had guys from Classic come out too. I mean, I believe Yadir Perez was training there for a while, and he came out and scored 2 really quick knockouts for us.
Heck yeah, that's right.
So he's a very good guy and great camps, and we look forward to it. Andronica Kamez says, nice, you kick ass. I can't wait to see your next fight. Love you.
Andronica, hey, shout out to my best friend Andronica. Yeah, she's watching from over Washington.
Wow.
She's in Washington. Yeah.
Very nice. And JR Pagaduan, he's throwing some fists up for you, showing some love. So
yeah.
Shout out to JR as well.
JR from NHC. Yeah, he misses sparring with me. We miss punching each other.
So Abel, you know, is the dream for you to kind of take this thing as far as you can take it, or is this kind of just like you know, a recreational thing for you?
Oh, it's I would definitely say feel really comfortable saying as far as I can take it. You know, like I said, going pro, you know, performing, making a great professional debut. You know, I'm treating this I'm treating this professional debut like I'm treating my my first fight ever in Muay Thai. So, you know, that fire is definitely there. Yeah. And I know for a fact after this interview is over, it's only going to motivate me, you know, that much more to, you know, run more, do this and more. You know, I'm lucky I have a bag in the backyard. I got a treadmill in the den, you know, so I don't have to go outside. But I've been getting my work in, and yeah, I mean, if everything goes well, I want to travel the world and compete, you know, and you know, put my team on the map, and you know, I want to hop on a plane, and then, you know, I want to cut the weight, and then, you know, I want to just travel with a bunch of foreigners and stuff, and that's my dream, you know. Fighting in Thailand could be one thing. I can always go on vacation, and, you know, if I play my cards right and I'm in shape, I can fight in Thailand like a little scrimmage fight or whatever. But as far as like competing and stuff, or that'd be great, you know. I watch the USA team, you know. Shout out to the USA team in Muay Thai, and, you know, I'm familiar with some of their fighters, and you know, they go to Brazil, they go to Peru, and I'm like, fuck, you know, I want to do that. So I know I will, you know.
Maybe that's a team you need to jump on at some point, Abel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure we have good connections. You know, I got 2 great teams, 2 great coaches, and both coaches know a lot of faces in the fight game. So I don't see why not. You know, 2021, you know, I should hopefully, you know, be traveling and stuff if everything goes well, you know. One day at a time. I
also wanted to ask you, Abel, because, you know, we only do unified rules. We're not a Muay Thai promotion. As much as I respect and love Muay Thai and MMA and everything else, I'm a big fan of kickboxing. So I could appreciate when you said that, you know, you're kind of sticking to the striking because it's what you love. Kickboxing is what I love. That's why I promote it. And I was wondering, you know, how do you feel about that rule set, the kickboxing rule set versus the Muay Thai rule set?
Well, for a fact, I mean, pro and Muay Thai, you know, professional Muay Thai fighters don't have to wear elbow pads. So, you know, I'd be lying if I wasn't looking forward to, you know, taking off the elbow pads and slicing up some foreheads or, you know, stuff like that. But and the clinching, you know, my clinching isn't the best, but, you know, if I feel like I'm the better half during the clinch, then I got some really good knees and stuff like that, and some sneaky elbows that, you know, I've been working on. But Kickboxing, it don't matter to me. I'm still gonna, I know there's no clinching, but I'm gonna grab him by the neck if I get close to him, and then throw one knee, and then just release.
You are
You know?
allowed to do that. You are allowed to
Yeah,
do a one-handed clinch as long as you're working.
yeah,
I
yeah.
actually, we actually just helped kind of clarify the rule set. So the new rule set is up, courtesy of Steve Fossum and Dan Bam Bam Stell. And I was happy I had a little bit of, I guess, of an influence on that. And yes, there will be one-handed clinching. You will be able to land that knee, but then you're going to have to release, stand, and bang it out. It sounds like you'd love to one day fly out to Thailand and compete. What about maybe one day competing for glory? Is that something that would interest you as well?
Yeah, of course. All those big name promotions, always have my attention. I follow them. I follow a lot of their fighters. I like watching all the highlights. I have a little notebook that I write down combinations. If I see something sneaky on social media, then I know that I can use it in my fight game. I'm gonna write down the combo and then put it in my notebook and use it for sparring and in my fights. But yeah, one championship, glory, lion fights. All those big ones are out there.
Who's someone that you look at right now and you say, damn, that guy's a beast, and I'd like to be like that guy, or I'd like to model myself after that guy. Is there anyone like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first name that pops up is John Wayne Parr, and I just look up to him not only for the legacy that he's done, but also the love that he's given back to the sport. And man, I think he's almost going to be like he's almost like in his 50s, right, or something, and he still has one. He still signed another contract with one championship, and that's motivation for me, knowing that age has always been a number to me, from the get-go. And like I told you, even though I'm 33, I don't feel that way. I outrun a lot of my younger teammates. I keep up in sparring. I have great cardio. All my fights, most of them have gone the distance. I don't remember gassing out once throughout all my fights. So because I push myself during training, but yeah. Yeah, I forgot the question.
No, it's all good, man. 33 is priming, but I was saying, I was asking you, who do you like? You said John Wayne Parr. I mean, is there anyone else that you look at, you're like, damn, that dude's a beast?
John Wayne Parr. I mean, just a living legend still. I mean, Sanchai. But if you want to talk during, our generation, our era, Abraham from Glory, the Mexican fighter.
He's a beast, dude. That guy's a beast.
He's a beast. Yeah, I like Abraham. I forgot that. I think he's a Ukrainian or Russian, but he just beat what's his name? His last name's Pau. Asten Pau.
Oh, okay. He the one who beat him?
Yeah, he's the one that beat him. Yeah.
Oh, you're referring to Zugari, the Moroccan kid.
Yeah, that guy. That guy's bad.
Yeah, that man. Guy. A lot of good Moroccan fighters. Shout out to my Arab brothers. Big shout out to Morocco. I had to throw that in there. Abel, got love for my Arab brethren. Right. And of course, and my Latino brothers too. You know what I mean? Family came up through South America before coming here, and your boys from Miami. So that's why those tostones were making me a little bit hungry earlier when Sergio was talking about them.
Oh yeah, Sergio.
Abel.
Yes, sir.
So you've been in this game a while, man. This game can be grimy, man. This game could be grimy. Have you experienced any kind of griminess in this game so far?
What would you mean by griminess? Like what?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of corruption in combat sports all the time. We see these crazy lopsided scores for hometown guys, or sometimes a guy cheats, for lack of a better word. I mean, have you run into anything crazy since you've been competing as a fighter?
As far as anything grimy in those terms, you know what? Not much rings a bell as far as craziness. If I'm gonna relate it to me in a fight, or fights that I've seen around me in person, nothing crazy like that comes to mind. The only a crazy story would be when after my on my second my second Muay Thai fight. I think it was like in 2017. The crazy part was that I was actually I won the fight. I went all 3 rounds, but in the second round I was dangling on the ropes with my opponent, and dummy me, I was waiting for the referee to come split us open, to come break us apart, because we were both leaning on the ropes, and I let my guard down, and then the crazy part happened. There was, I mean, part of the fight game, but man, my opponent ended up clinching me, and he ended up grabbing me and just kneed me flush, and it just kneed me flush in the chest, and I was dangling, and then I remember the impact when he hit me, because right after he landed the knee to the chest, the referee broke us apart, because the referee was already coming to break us apart. But, you know, that guy did what he had to do and threw a knee right before the referee broke us up. And it landed a freaking flush. And then I was like, I remember when I got up and he broke us apart, like I felt like this radiant, like, I don't know how to explain it, like a lot of, like, it felt like 4th of July, like, went off on my chest. Like, I felt a lot of spark. And it felt like, and it just tingled throughout my whole body. And then the referee looked at me and he's like, "You're all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You know, all the adrenaline and stuff, I didn't feel it. But long story short, I ended up winning the fight. The chest thing hurt, and then after the fight, I kept complaining about my chest hurting, and then my girlfriend and everybody else like, "Oh, you should go to the hospital and get it x-rayed and stuff." And I was like, "No, I don't think it's that serious. The fight was on Friday. I said I'm gonna wait until Monday to see if it gets better." And then it didn't get any better, and I started pissing. My piss looked like apple juice, and I was hydrating. I was drinking a lot of water, so I'm like, "There's no way my urine should look this way." Yeah. And then there was no blood in it, but it was like really dark, and I'm like, "All right." And then it really hurt when I was laying down. When I would like try to lay down, like I felt a lot of pressure in my chest, and I couldn't breathe. So after on Sunday, I ended up turning myself into the hospital, and then we did x-rays. There was no fracture, thank God. Nothing. Everything was clean, the x-rays and everything. And then the doctor said, and the nurse said, that what caused it was when I got kneed in the chest, it created it messed with my blood, like my inside my body. All my blood got messed up, and my protein level shot up the roof, and it was like ridiculously high. And then so that's why my urine was looked like apple juice, because I had my protein level was so high from that incident that it spiked up my protein level, and I had to get hooked up to IVs, to saline, to drain everything out, because the doctor said no matter how much water you drink, you're not going to be able to flush out the protein. And
Dude,
then
I've never even heard anything like that. I mean, what the hell happened? What can trigger your body to do something like that?
It was like shock. And then he said that CrossFit fighters get it from he said CrossFit fighters are getting it now a lot nowadays from excessive workouts, from working out too hard. And he said that my protein level was already high, because he said he already knew that I was an athlete, that I had just finished a fight, that I was in there because of a fight. So he knew that my blood, as far as my protein level, like it was already like high, because as far as, you know, being in shape. But he said that times the shock, and he said it was equivalent to like getting hit with a baseball bat to the chest. And I was like, what? And I thought I was going to go home. I'm like, all right.
You said, I was like, what?
I was like, damn. If I think about it, it probably was equivalent, man. But I thought I was going to go home, and they're like, nah, dude, you're going to get admitted. You're going up to the 3rd floor because we have to watch you closely. And I was like, oh, I guess this is really, really bad news. Yeah, and then I had like one or two, I had one doctor come in that wasn't my doctor, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to fight anymore because this is a really severe injury and you can't breathe and blah, blah, blah. We have to monitor you. And then I was like, damn. And I was like, I did get a little bit butthurt. I was sentimental, and I was like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. I can't go down like this. But everything worked out, you know. I took a long break after. But, oh, you know what else he said? He said that the knee to the chest, he said, was equivalent to when people are driving in their car and they crash and the steering wheel hits their chest.
Wow.
He said it's the same diagnosis. I was looking for the medical paper around it, but I couldn't found it because there was a medical term that's called. But yeah, it was like a bruised chest, basically, a really, really bad bruised chest. And I don't have it doesn't hurt anymore, even if I put pressure or nothing. I've done jujitsu and, I've had knees on top of me, but it doesn't hurt. I think it was just a learning lesson, like I said, because it was my fault for dangling on the ropes, waiting for the referee to break us up. So that just changed, my awareness a lot. But that was a crazy story that I went through. And then, it didn't change anything. Like I said, the passion was still there. I prayed a lot and stuff, and just did a lot of rehab and stuff. But that was the only crazy story I can come up with.
No, that's a great story. It shows everybody that you don't play fighting. You can play other sports, but you don't play fighting. Andronica comments says, breaking neck. She says, great show and info. Thank you so much, Andronica. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it, and follow ABEL. Follow FightersRep as well, but follow ABEL right there on screen at LaidBackABEL. I also don't see enough likes in this video, so please smash that like button. And hey, we got a new fighter in the chat room, ABEL. Paris Shipley says, ABEL, the motherfucking beast.
Parrish, shout out to Parrish. Yeah, he fought for you guys one time.
He did, man. Great guy, and I really hope to work with him again in any capacity, because I really like that kid. A great vibe, like you said, that Krishna mentioned earlier. And Krishna in here still representing NHC and NHC all day. So you guys are well represented. ABEL, any other crazy stories you got for us, brother, from this fight game? Anything you want to share with us? Maybe you've got, if not, maybe you've got some sponsors or people you want to shout out.
Yeah, I can get back to that story, and then for now I can do a shout out. Yeah, shout out to Joybirds. I've been drinking that right now.
Hey,
Joybird. He's an official sponsor for FightersRep too, man. This guy's the man.
He is. He's a great guy. I'll let you guys in on a bit of a secret. He reached out to me and he said, "Hey, man, I'd like to meet up with you. I'd like to work with you." I said, let's do it, so we sat down together, and, he basically wanted my contacts to be able to send them product. And I said, hell yeah, I'm just going to hook him up with every single camp, every single fighter I know. I'll shoot. Right. So I shot him. He's a real generous guy, George, the owner of Joybird. So big shout out to Joybird.
Big shout out to Joybird.
Yeah, man. And, I just started tossing names his way, tossing camps his way. And I'm glad he's reaching out to all you guys. A lot he reached out on his own, but I think a lot definitely, through the fight, through the promotion. He actually brought like hundreds of bottles to the weigh-in and to the open workout we had.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, those are the kind of sponsors that we love, and we want to keep them in the long run, man. That's good.
For sure. And another thing I wanted to say about Joybird, George, is he's going to start a pre-workout, a post-workout, and like a hydration drink specifically for fighters, which I think is very important. What do you think about that, ABEL? Products that are dedicated exclusively to fighters. Don't you think we need more stuff for guys like you?
Oh yeah, man. No matter what kind of stuff you eat, whether you're eating healthy or not, you still need that protein, that aminos to recover. As far as a fighter, and not even just a fighter, but just a normal person like anyone else, it's really important in the fight game. It's really important to have those around you, sponsorships like that, or products that you take. Me personally, I know there's a lot of protein substance. There's a lot of stuff to help you out for your workouts, whether it's pre-workout and stuff like that, aminos, testosterone, a bunch of crap, a bunch of stuff. The only stuff that I mess with currently till this day is the only stuff I'll probably only mess with unless I get introduced to a good company or organization. But I only take my protein, my aminos for for recovery, and then that's it. Just those two. The pre-workout was when I was working, full-time schedule. I would use that as a little spark, but man, just the protein and the aminos. And if Joybird's making stuff like that exclusively for the fighters, then all I can say is a lot of good stuff is going to come his way and for that company, because it's really important that you take that stuff.
Hell yeah, and me, when I see anybody's out there trying to help some fighters out, I say, shit, man, I'm going to jump on that. I would love to get this sport to the point where, fighters are treated the way athletes are in the NBA and the MLB. I think that's a long time coming. Para Shipley says Fox Fuel. I believe that might be the name. I believe it's actually Foxhound is going to be the name of the product, but either way, it's going to be fantastic. Justin Espinosa says, that's right, Abel is a killer who eats donuts. Now, Abel, is there anything you stay away from as far as your diet goes, or do you just eat everything, brother?
Good question. Really good question. Yeah, I was going to bring that up earlier, but we got sidetracked.
I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because we talked a little bit of what I eat when I'm not during fight camp, and I told you, for the most part, I eat good because being an athlete changed my mentality. But now we're talking about being involved in a fight, and I have a fight. If I have a fight coming up, I'm in fight camp or blah blah blah. My eating habits change a lot. I almost eat a lot of just bunch of vegetables. I have a recipe that I have. I call it the Coach Abel smoothie.
I want to know what this is. Tell me what this is, Coach.
It's because I worked at UFC gym and UFC gym for almost a year, and I got a lot of good. I learned a lot from that place as far as being a coach and being a good role model for my clients. But I ended up introducing them to a Coach Abel smoothie. That what it involves is during fight camp. I drink this smoothie, all right? So the smoothie consists of not that many ingredients. To name the top ones are kale, spinach, organic peanut butter, chia seeds, half a banana, blueberries and strawberries. And then the last one is the 1 scoop of protein powder that I use. Now that same smoothie that I just talked about, and it has almonds in it too.
Oh, so, baby.
Yeah, it has almonds in it, chia seeds. It has all your vegetables. It has all your berries in it. And I'm not calling it a meal replacement. I'm not necessarily calling it a meal replacement, but what I do is I make that smoothie in the mornings, and then I drink that smoothie in the morning or in the 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then that'll be my breakfast. And then for lunchtime, I'll just have a good lunch. For dinner, I'll have a good decent dinner. But the key thing to me cutting weight, because I walk around 165, almost 170 right now, and I fight at 145. So, but when I'm in fight camp, I walk around 150, 153. So I don't have to cut too much weight because I'm already in shape. But that smoothie that I'm talking about, oh man, that thing saves lives. It made a lot of people at UFC gym lose weight. So it's a great smoothie. I mean, if you want it, I can shoot you a DM after the show, and I have a couple teammates that use it specifically only during fight camps, and they just drink it in the morning, and then boom, they're good. And then what I like about it is because I'm putting all my vegetables in it, all my almonds for my brain food, and then guess what? For dinner, if I don't feel like eating vegetables, if I don't feel like eating vegetables, guess what? I already drank my vegetables in the morning, straight. I can just eat like fish and stuff.
Man, I love that. Shoot that over. Hell, we'll put it in the body, in the description of the YouTube video. Once this video's over, we'll put it in the description so people can come check out Coach Abel's. What are we gonna call this smoothie, brother?
That's all I got right now is Coach Abel's smoothie.
Straight and to the point. So is there anything you stay away from? You know, maybe you don't eat meats, pork, something you don't eat, or you eat everything?
Yeah, I'll stay away from red meat and pork.
Hmm.
I'll stay away. Oh, and bread and tortillas.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's tough. Yeah, because I'm always eating tortillas. I'm always eating beans, but beans are fine. I make homemade beans all the time. But that's the good stuff. I make
Yeah,
black
beans
beans.
are good, man. I feel like I couldn't live without beans, man.
Oh, I love beans. Yeah.
Um,
I always
we
tell my girlfriend. I always tell my girlfriend I'm gonna go on a beans and rice diet, and then next thing you know, she sees me eating fish, or she's like, "You're not on your beans and rice diet."
Is she the one that's over there whispering sweet nothings in your ear? I heard someone whispering earlier.
Yeah, she's over there. Yeah, she said she wants to be my manager. I said we still got to talk about it.
Well, you know, managers should at least get 10%. That's all I'm saying. Valerie, by the way, says, shout your girl out, carnal. So,
Valerie, shout out to Valerie from Classic Fight Team. She's an upcoming fighter, man. I think you're gonna have her on the card soon. She's 3-0 in Muay Thai, so shout out to Valerie. She works hard, man. She's a good person.
I love it. I look forward to it. Alec Cabrera says, Krispy Kreme needs to sponsor Abel. Hey, guys.
Yes.
Send this damn video. Link it to Krispy Kreme right now. Let them know Abel needs a sponsor when he goes pro, brother. Para Shipley says C Block. Maybe that's an inside thing between you guys. And Lost One, who follows our channel. Big shout out, Lost One. Appreciate you being on here. He says, what was Lara's favorite fight? What was your favorite fight, Abel?
My favorite fight probably my first one. My first fight. My debut in Muay Thai over at IFS in Anaheim. Because a lot of sweat and tears and blood leaded up to that fight, and it was my debut, and I wanted to make a good impression, not only for myself but for my teammates. But you know what? To be honest, mostly for myself, because I told myself, you know, if I'm gonna do this, I have to win. I have to work hard, and it was such relief. I still have the picture when I won, and you can just look at the picture, and it's just me with my hands up and just me looking up to the sky, like thanking God and thanking the universe. Like, what a relief it was to get this first fight out of the way, and not only win, but you know, win in good fashion. You know, it was a great fight. It was a tough fight. It was a 3-round war.
But so you like that one, and you hold that one more near and dear to your heart than when you won the IKF title?
You see, it would be like a mix and match. I'd say both.
Gotcha.
I'd say both. But the first one that popped up in my head was the first fight. But oh yeah, unforgettable for the IKF one too. Yeah, of course.
I mean, for me, that's a huge milestone. But I could understand why your first fight would be right on par with that. Andronica says, "Why eat your greens when you could drink your greens?" Thanks, Coach Abel.
Exactly. I gave her the recipe. Yeah, she lost a couple.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mike Colleen, Conscious Power, what up, brother? Appreciate you being on here. He says, any chance you are related to Joe Lara out of Vacaville, California?
No, doesn't ring a name. Definitely I'm not sure what city that was, but no, definitely no relationship at all.
Gotcha.
Just same last name, I guess.
Gotcha. Van Hammer says, NHC, a little school with a big heart, mighty fighters, and awesome coach. What do you got to say about that, Abel?
Oh, that's my great, loving, caring teammate, Van. Shout out to Van. She's been with the team longer than I have, and there's no NHC without her or Coach Chris and everybody there at NHC. She's a really great person. Shout out to Van, man. Miss you.
Big shout out to NHC again, man. I really, I love that camp. I love all the camps that I work with, to be honest with you. But definitely that's one of the ones that's been very professional. So I appreciate them. But right now, Abel, there's nothing. There's no gyms. There's no nothing. Everything's online. What do you think about this whole situation, man?
I think just like everyone else, I can't wait for it to blow over. we're talking about, lockdown until the middle of this month and the middle of next month. Next thing you know, it gets extended. Um, I think the lockdown should, remain in lockdown, but, to a certain extent, because a lot of people are hurting, like, a lot of my coaches, people with small businesses, they can't perform to their, they can't perform at 100% at their daily job because of the lockdown. And so I don't think it's I don't think it's cool, but I hope for the best. And, I'm pretty sure it'll blow over, but I'm just, like you said, like we talked about, I'm doing my best. I'm staying in shape. I got a backyard punching bag and treadmill, but no excuses. Everybody should be working out a little bit in their house, whether it's a light, something light, but do something, because health can only take you so long. And with this virus, you want a good immune system, so you want to be in somewhat good shape, so it doesn't really get you too hard.
For sure. One of the fans of the show, big shout out again, lost one. He says Krispy Kreme Killer. So we might have a new nickname for you, Abel, the Krispy Kreme Killer, brother.
All right, I like that one.
And he also asks, because I believe he's outside the country, he says, is America off lockdown now? It sure as hell ain't. We're all sitting around doing nothing and, conducting interviews to keep the sport relevant, because this shit is going nowhere fast. Last one. Super Kid 707. Do you know Super Kid 707, Abel? He says, let's go, Abel.
That's my friend Albert. Yeah, shout out to Albert. Yep. What's up, Albert? Thanks for tuning in.
For sure, brother, for sure. So, what's besides going pro, I mean, you've mentioned you're a coach. Is that part of your long-term goal to able to maybe become a coach, open up your own gym, do something like that?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely part of the plan. I mean, I have several options that I really look forward to in the future, as long as I put my mind to it. But that's definitely crossed my mind many times, and I know if I keep doing what I'm doing and keep learning, keep winning, keep being a good student, a good teammate. I know I'm fortunate to know a lot of people in the fight game, and the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and people that I hang around with, are better than me at something. And I know that there's definitely a possibility to own my own gym by myself or with someone else and run my own team. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been coaching for that long, only for like a year and a half, but I've definitely made a positive impact on most of my clients, all of my clients actually. And yeah, owning, I mean, who doesn't, it's you want to do what you love at the end of the day, so owning my own gym, holding a team accountable, making them learn my technique, that'd be great. So yeah,
that sounds awesome. Alec Cabrera says, who do you think will win? Now they're asking you for predictions, Abel. You might have to start charging, brother. He says, who do you think will win, Khabib or Ferguson? What do you think about that?
Oh, that's an easy question. I'm going to go with El Cucuy, Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson all day, man. That's one of the fighters I look up to since day one, since I found out about his career ethic and the way he is, man. Yeah, I'm definitely going for Tony. Khabib is definitely a scary guy, but I got Tony all day. If I were to put some money on Vegas, I'll put it on Tony.
I love it, man. I think that's a really intriguing fight between him and Gaethje and Khabib. I would love to see a round robin between those three guys, man, because I feel like either one of those guys can beat each other. You know what I mean? Right.
Right.
Alec Cabrera says, why do they call you? This is a great question. I'm kind of upset I didn't come up with it. Why do they call you? Why do they call you the freight train?
He said, I'm kind of upset and come up with it.
So I mean, the freight train is, that's something you would call a football player. I mean, what are you doing to people out there able for them to be calling you the freight train, brother?
I'm freight training my opponents. Good question, and shout out to Alec. Thank you. Well, why do they call me the freight train? It's a good question. My friend Tom, my friend Knucklehead Tommy Tejas, shout out to Tom, one of my best friends. In general, he gave me the nickname after my first fight. After my first fight, I mean, during my first fight, I swear to you, I kid you not, I landed like a 20-21 punch combo.
Wow.
And then the guy never answered back, and I was just all up in his face and, you know, throwing knees and stuff and little elbows in here and there, but mostly just letting my fists fly and stuff. Hit him with like a 21 punch combo, and then my buddy Tom was like, "Hey, bro, you're like the fucking freight train." And I'm like, "What the hell do you mean?" He's like, "Bro, you just fucking ran through everybody like a fucking train." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" But I think he told me that after like the second or third fight, because, you know, I am pretty known for throwing some good combos, long combinations, you know. And he said it reminded a freight train reminded himself when he was, that's what they used to call him when he was in the mosh pit. He said he would just fucking just mosh through everybody.
Yeah.
So they called him the freight train, and then he gave it to me, and it works. You know, I believe in it. You know, I like rushing my opponents. If I see my opponent hurt, or if he's not answering any of my punches or kicks, then I'm just gonna freight train him, you know, and create that pressure.
That's a serious Killer Instinct sounding combo you landed. 21 hits, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was really fun to watch.
Abel, I've been on this thing with you for over an hour now, brother. So, you know, I wanna thank you a lot for your time. You're a fantastic interview, a fantastic personality. Andronica says she's got your 22 punch combination on video, by the way.
Oh, there you go. We're going to have to send it to FightersRep. Thank you.
I'm going to have to check it out. But is there anyone, you know, before I let you go, is there anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to say to all these people in this chat or all the people out there that are going to watch this in the future?
No, just shout out to everybody watching. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, my name's Abel, the Freight Train Lara, fighting out of NHC, Los Alamitos, and Classic Fight Team in Fountain Valley. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to my little sidekick next to me, the love of my life, April. So she's always helped me with my fights, always cooking for me when I'm not cooking, always waits for me when I'm training at nighttime. I don't get home until 9:30 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday, and she's always waiting for me to eat hot dinner with me. So she knows I appreciate her. I love her so much. But shout out to her. Shout out to my mom. I forgot to tell my mom I was gonna go live, but I'll just send her the link and she'll have to see it. And shout out to everybody that dropped a comment. I'm pretty sure I shouted out everybody. I don't think I left anyone out. Coach Chris, love you. I know he's watching. And everybody from NHC. You know, Classic. Let's get this win let's get this professional debut. Everybody follow the rules, you know. Let's not try to revolt. Let's pay attention to this government so we could open up, you know, we can get back to our normal lives. I know everybody misses the gym. I feel bad for the people that do this for a living. Like, what the hell? Like, they can't do anything until this is over. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best, and I'm looking forward to putting on a absolutely not Muay Thai clinic, kickboxing K1 clinic.
Yeah, baby.
You know, in August, you know.
Yeah, baby.
Keep getting ready and stuff, and heck yeah, everybody follow FightersRep. It's a great upcoming promotion. They got nothing but great fighters. Appreciate
it, man. Alec Cabrera says, can't wait to fight for this promotion in the future. We can't wait to have you if you're going to be fighting for us. And I was just going to tell you, you know, follow at LaidbackAbel on Instagram. Follow NHC, man. Give them a follow. Support your gym. Keep paying your membership, because this shit's going to be over soon and we're all going to have to go back and train somewhere. Abel, before I let you go, man, tell these people to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon underneath.
Everybody, before you close your windows, before you close your phones, go ahead and subscribe to the bottom, to that red button that says subscribe in little red rectangle. Hit subscribe. Drop a thumbs up. If you drop a thumbs down, you know what's coming. Freight train's coming. No, I'm just kidding. But everybody, go ahead and subscribe and keep watching all the interviews. FightersRep has a bunch of celebrities dropping in from now in time. So we got all the connections right here on FightersRep on YouTube. Don't be a stranger. Watch all the highlights, all the fights, all the knockouts. We're going to be here, baby. We're going to keep blowing up.
Much love to you, Abel. Much love to your people in your camp, and we appreciate you guys. Until next time, knuckleheads, keep it clean. Me and the freight train, we're out of here.
All right. Thank you, guys. God bless.